I came here in 1966 as a band director. I was out in District 2. The school at the time was Foster's Grove. It was just before we integrated. I went to the school and didn't have they never had a band, but they had 45 instruments. And really, in about 3 or 4 months, we were competing. Now, don't ask me how that happened, but it happened. And so that's how we got started. And then following the next year, I had a better band, and the band began to grow. And from that point, when we integrated, I went to District 2, and I worked out of Boiling Springs High School. And I was one that started the feeder programs uh, in different schools like Hendricks and Fingerville, et cetera. So that's how I got started in teaching. Finally, after teaching 7 years, I had made some Motown contacts. I had a good friend, Hamilton Bohannon, who was at Motown, and he began to hook me up with some tours. My first tour was with the group called The Temptations, and big band. However, the first two I went on, I was the only trombone player. They had a full trumpet section and a full sax section, and they had a great rhythm section, but I was the only bone player in that. But I learned. It was where I cut my teeth in learning to play that style of music. It wasn't always easy, but I hung in there and got better and better. And so that's some of my background. And from that, I got other tools such as not only the Temptations and the Smokey Robinson, uh, did some Marvin Gaye shows, so many others. Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, Supremes, and many others. Uh, as my name got around as a decent player who could hold his own, I got other jobs with people such as I did some James Brown shows. I didn't play a lot of shows, but I did some shows with James Brown, uh, Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, and others. Uh, it was great out there to play those kind of shows. I learned a lot, and of course my heart is always teaching. So whatever I learned on those tours, I brought it back to my students and my friends to help make them better. That's what I'm about anyway, being one of the best at making others better. Now, the music trail was outstanding. First of all, I was surprised that they called me, but many people said they should have called me. So they said I deserved it. But it was truly a blessing. But one thing about it that stood out above all things was the audience. One of the best audience. I've been on a lot of stages, man, but one of the best audience I ever been in front of was that music trail audience. They were cheering you on. There was seemed to be no critics there. They was cheering you on from the time you hit the stage and played your first note to your last note. They were cheering you on. And so that was one thing. But also the different styles of music that was offered, from R&B, jazz to country, bluegrass. Exceptional stuff. Exceptional musicians too. It was really great. And it was great to be inducted. I think I mentioned before that Peter Cooper had contacted me 20 years ago, and I was busy recording. In fact, he was involved with me recording my first gospel CD. I guess you call it gospel R&B, gospel jazz, inspirational music. You were one of the trombone players. But when Peter called me, I was just too busy to get with him. But when they called me this time, the timing was perfect. You know, at my age now, 81, I just needed that was a great boost for me, and a wonderful experience playing with some excellent musicians. Just wonderful. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to that sign downtown with James Reese on it.